Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I would like to do a card pull and see what message the universe has for us today. Ooh, okay. So, I pulled the transformation card. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. This is so interesting. So, I've been feeling, and I'm sure we all have been feeling, that during these times, the collective is going through a deep healing and things are coming up to be healed. And that is part of what is kind of creating this storm and this like uneasy energy and uneasy feeling, is because things that were, rooted deeply in us and were deep down are now coming to the surface to be healed. And in order for us to transform and evolve and continue on with this new earth energy, we need to heal our wounds and what is being hurt. And we need to heal them as a society because we are very much a collective, but we also need to heal them on an individual level. We always have to remember that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And that is so important to keep in mind, because when you are seeing craziness on the news or in society, on social media, or anything like that, it is really, really a call to reflect upon your inner world and what is happening in your inner world. So don't think that you are separate from what is going on. And you can choose to limit your exposure to it. However, when there needs to be inner healing, there will be no avoiding it. So don't think that like you will be missing the call to do some inner healing because you don't watch the news. That's not true, because it will come to you in various different ways. You just have to pay attention and be aware that when, craziness is coming up, that is really your call to go within and to start with the man in the mirror and make the changes within yourself that you would like to see in society, regardless of what those changes are, whether it be more tolerance or acceptance or kindness or love or whatever it is that you would like to see in the world. Your very first step is to make sure that you are embodying that yourself. So if you want to see more generosity in the world, you need to be more generous. If you want to see more kindness in the world, you want to be more kind. And it is so important that we do this inner work and we do this inner healing and we really look and go within, because that is really where the changes happen. You may think like, well, things are really crazy in society. What can I do to help? The biggest thing you can do to help is to work on yourself. And when you see something coming up, and I just want to use this for an example because I think it's been coming up multiple times in society, is the Black Lives Matter movement. So as you see that coming up in society, you may think, well, I don't I don't harbor any, prejudice feelings or anything like that. If you continue to see that coming up, you actually really do need to reflect about where in you do you have a belief in you? Do you hold a stereotype within you? You really need to go within and find out what is coming up to be healed within you. Even though you may feel like you are a accepting and loving person and you see people for who they are, because that maybe you're like, well, I don't see color. Well, people want to be seen for who they are and what they are. So maybe that is what it needs to be worked on, that you don't you can see color without judging color. Seeing color doesn't mean that you are judging it. So maybe that is what needs to be healed within. And believe me, I did the same exact thing when this was coming up last year big time, and it's coming up again. So that is a call for me to again look at and reflect upon myself and what is happening inside me that needs to be healed. What do I need to be letting go of around this subject? And now every single subject won't speak to you that way. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So it's not like, you see a mass shooting and you're like, ooh, where's the mass shooter inside of me? But it can be, like, where is the tolerance? Where is the love? Like, where is the kindness? Where, you have to kind of look and see. And one of the biggest ways you can tell about what is trying to be healed for you around a specific subject is for you to pay attention to how it makes you feel. So, for example, like a mass shooting, maybe you feel like you feel scared and you feel like this could happen anywhere at any time, and it's bringing up some fear about going out into public places. You have to then tune into that and be like, okay, that is a fear that I very much need to let go of, because I cannot let a fear run my life. Therefore, and, go back to stoicism. Can I control if something like that were to happen where I am? And the answer is no. You can be situationally aware. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't do it out of constant fear. So you're like, okay, well, I can't control that. So that I'm automatically going to hand over to the divine. I'm going to put my health and my safety in the hands of the divine, because that is where it always is anyways. But bringing your awareness to that is where it is will help to give you some relief. It'll help to ease those fears. And because, don't forget that we don't want to dwell in those lower vibrational fear, anger energies, because they only bring our vibration down. And it is so important for us right now to be keeping our vibration high. So you want to be processing what is coming up for you. So like I said, with the fear coming up, it's not suppressing it. It's not, well, that's crazy and it's out of my control. Anyway, it's feeling that fear. It's acknowledging you. I hear you. I see you. With what is going on in the world, that is a legitimate fear. But okay, it is not within my control. You just want to sit for it with a minute and really let the fact that it's out of your control really, really sink in. You want to lean into that fear. You can put your hand on your heart. It really helps. Take a few deep breaths. Process that and understand where it's coming from, and know that it's bringing something up for you. And then you want to just experience it and let it go. And then move on. You can cry if you need to. You can talk it out if you need to. Whatever you need to express that feeling and to keep it moving and to let it go. So that is how we do that inner healing. That is how, you don't want to be like digging things up because things are just naturally coming up right now. You don't need to go searching. What is better for you to do is just to handle things as they come up, and to process that emotion and then to let it go so you can move on. And that is very much what this time on the earth is, and that's what this card is telling us, because through that inner work and through processing those emotions and through processing, your beliefs and really, really bringing your awareness to what they are, All of that is part of our transformation that is happening right now. Now, because like I think that especially me, you can feel like transformation is the self-help, like the personal development, and I'm transforming, I'm a brand new me, and I'm gonna do this and this and this, and I'm gonna add this and add this into my life and add more and do this. And when we really need to bring our awareness to is processing the old emotions and processing the deep healing that needs to happen, has to happen for transformation. And the reason why is it because it creates space for the new energy to come in, because emotions hold space in your body. So when you are able to heal that within yourself and let that go, it leaves, and then it creates space for that new divine, new earth energy to take hold, and gives it space for it to live and to come into your body. And that is really what we want. We want to be as light as possible. We want to bring in as much light as possible into our bodies and into our spirits and into our minds. We want to be exuberating this light. We want to be excreting this light from within. And for our inner light to shine bright, we need to be letting go of the darker energy, because that light has a harder time shining through when it has to go through darker energy. So it helps when you're able to let go of that energy and you're able to create space. Also, I want to say that while you're processing this and while you're going through healing, I want you to be very kind to yourself and patient with yourself, because it's not something that happens overnight, and it's not something that you're like, I felt it, I process it, and it's gone, because it might come up for you again. And don't be discouraged. It just means it wasn't healed all the way, or there is another aspect of it to go that needs to be healed. So be very patient with yourself, be very kind to yourself, and give yourself time, give yourself space, give yourself what your body is craving, whether that be rest, whether it be companionship, whether it be a bubble bath, whether it be time out in nature. Grounding is so, so good for healing. So, if you can, while something is coming up for you, if you can get outside and put your feet on the earth, and while you're processing that emotion, you can imagine a grounding cord going down into the earth from your root chakra, and you can imagine those emotions as you're processing them going straight down the grounding cord and being returned to the earth. And you don't have to be, you can be anywhere and do the grounding cord. However, nature is incredibly healing because we are nature. So, and nature wants to always bring us back into coherence, because that is the natural state of nature, and we are nature. So we always want to be in coherence. So grounding, earthing while you're doing that just gives us that extra assist and just makes it that much easier. So I feel like that was a beautiful message, and definitely one I need to be heeding myself. I'm so glad that we drew this card. And that is our message for today. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon, my friend.